an interesting experience where, you know, we when the movie W, Josh Brolin shot down in Shreveport, and while he was out having a beer, he ended up getting tasered somehow, getting in a bar fight, and so we were very concerned about, you know, because actors have a tendency to be outspoken and sometimes obnoxious. And Southern boys don't like that so much, you know? So anyway, so I wanted to be right with them. So they put us up in this hotel, and so I'm there, and I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm in my hometown. I'm in this great hotel. And then I realized that my mom would do my laundry and leave little Post-it notes. So it's like, I'm at the pinnacle of my career, and my mom is doing my laundry. Yes?
So I know as a director, you know, things get crazy and hectic over these 12-hour days and everything. But the character has an arc, so you have to do different ranges of motion or emotion. So did you have, since you are the director, a person that was your director as far as keeping your outside perspective on your performance versus others, or did you just watch the dailies and kind of?
Well, yeah, yes is the answer. I mean, I feel like the DP, my director of photography, and my editor both could say things like, you know, it looks fake, you know, or go for it, or, you know, whatever, like you're holding back. And the great thing is when everyone's on the same team, when the goal, and this was something that became a mantra of sorts for us, was the movie is the most important thing, you know? It's like it's about the movie. So we could have any discussion, nothing was off base as long as it was about making the movie better, you know? We didn't have it in the budget, but I needed a stand-in. So, you know, because we would set shots, and I wouldn't, you know, be standing there to do it. So this friend of mine who's been friends with me since I was 5 years old, this girl, Rebecca, blonde hair, blue eyes, looks nothing like me at all, shorter than me, totally useless for a stand-in, but she was awesome. And she would help me with lines, and she would, you know, remember blocking and stuff. Because you're right, like it's the little things that you forget about that are so harrying. It's like, you know, when I walk through a scene with an actor, but then I have to go back and have a huge powwow, and then like, wait, what am I doing? I pick up what? What am I picking up with my hands? You know, and Rebecca would be like, pick up that thing. but it was great, you know, and it's like we were all part of the same team. So I didn't have a guy that was my guy, but I had like 4 guys I could go to and be like, you buying this? Okay, all right. I'm going bigger. We'll see. That kind of thing. Yes, sir.
How much casting and crewing did you do in Shreveport?
More than we actually thought we were going to. And you know what was interesting was the biggest challenge with that was the department heads were really nervous to hire Shreveport talent. And we found throughout the crewing, because we didn't have much money, so like our director of photography wanted to bring out his whole team from LA, but if you're doing that, they're only getting pittance a day, you know, so he had a hard time finding somebody. He finally gets part of his team together, and then when we ran second camera a couple of times, Shreveport crews who were working all the time on stuff turned out to be as good or better than some of our, you know, key crew. And like it was kind of like we could have saved money, paid the guys an actual wage, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I would say the cast is pretty much everyone but the main 5 was Shreveport, and the only crew we brought out was a script supervisor who was married to my editor, so that was convenient. We could just put them in one. The DP, he brought out a couple of crew members, but that was pretty much it. Gaffer, all the rest of the, you know, my production designer, who's amazing and can stretch a dollar farther than any human being I've ever seen. Yes, sir.
What did you guys shoot on?
We shot on the Red. We shot on the Red, and then we took it into post and did a bunch of cool things with it, which I'm surprised more people don't do, to be honest. Like I see a lot of independent films, and you can do so much in post to make it look more like film, but it seems like a lot of people are shying away from. I like it to look like film. Like that's what I grew up with. Those are the great movies that I've seen. The grain and the like. There's being a distance between you and what's happening. Otherwise, I feel like you're kind of watching the nightly news. Like everything's so crisp and clean. Like dirty it up a little bit. So we actually applied a film grain that makes you feel like it's film, even though it's not. And it was great for our budget and for me acting and directing, because we can shoot all day long. And, you know, we don't have a lot of setup time between taking the film away. We can just keep going. Yes, you have something?
Well, kind of a question on the story.
Go.
Because the story is more, in my opinion, is more of a masculine point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like taking the asshole and giving him a heart.
Mm-hmm.
But where did the idea come from? Or is he like a hodgepodge of people you know? Or
Well, I think I'm a single guy. And I've been single for most of my, for all of my adult life, really. I've never been married. But I feel like I go to a lot of romantic comedies, and you see them, and I just don't know people that act like that, And I don't know anybody that's ever jumped on a horse and ridden across the Brooklyn Bridge, to stop a wedding or some nonsense like that. And, that's not the kind of movie I really like, But I did like I just thought that there was a window for this, cynical, world-weary, kind of, because these rules, like, you can actually live like that, It's like I've certainly had my time where I'm just like, look, I'm not looking for a relationship. I just want to go out and have a good time. And you can still be friends. You just never see it, And what I think is a funny turn on the head of the romantic comedy is, to me, this movie could be a perfectly normal romantic comedy if the movie was about Julian and Sophie. Because Julian really does nothing wrong in the whole movie. He's actually a really stand-up rock star, And he gets the girl in the end because he kind of deserves her, Tyler doesn't because he doesn't. Mm-hmm. He doesn't deserve her. But he becomes a better person. And if you take the love story and you consider it to be about friendship, then the movie falls into all the major beats of any romantic comedy, only it's between the two best friends, Mm-hmm. I just like the idea. I like Bull Durham is one of my favorite movies, Broadcast News, these movies that have a realistic feel, but are about relationships and smart, funny people who are just going through life like the rest of us, Yeah.
So it's not a direct lift from your life?
No, not direct. Not direct. There were a couple of scenes that I had a buddy of mine at the last film festival we did who, well, his wife and I have had problems in our life. And when I had the scene with Jamie Presley, he was just like, you just put that scene in there? I can't believe you put that scene in there. It's like, my wife can never see this movie. I'm like, well, we didn't get along. She deserved it. Anyway. Yes.
Was it also intentional at the beginning to kind of set all those women you dump in the same restaurant?
Yes, yeah, because I think that's the bar that he always goes to, and we wanted that to be almost home, so that Kenny, the bartender, is a nice surrogate friend and somebody for him to talk to, while he's not seeing any of the people that are important to him. The bartender is always important, but it's also save money. But what's funny is, like, this is movie magic, right? We shot everything in Louisiana except for that opening sequence and the Jamie Presley scene. We shot those in Los Angeles. So we shot the entire bar, and we shot my lines to all these women, and I just improv'd basic responses to basically what I wanted them to say. And then we built the back of a bar in a garage. So that is like literally like fake, brick, and they rebuilt the table and everything, and I had all these actresses that I know just come in for like a couple of hours. And all those actresses are working like crazy. It's like ridiculous that I got them to do, like 2 minutes in the opening of the movie. But movie magic. Yes, sir.
How was working with Dave?
Dave is awesome. Dave is one of my favorite people. Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall was such a... it's unbelievable that we got him in the first place. My script supervisor, who works like crazy, and she's very well hooked up or whatever. We were in Shreveport, and we were trying to cast this role, and she suggested him, and I'm like, well, yeah, we can offer it to him, but he's never going to do it. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm not doing anything. Sure. Come to Louisiana. They got gambling there, right? And I'm like, yeah. So he came down and was like just amazing, and was actually kind of a bad influence on everyone. Because we stayed at a casino, so you could literally stay up all night if you wanted to. And one night at 3 o'clock, we had at least a 6 o'clock call the next day. I'm in the elevator with Dave going up, and he's just like, we could play a couple more hands. You're the boss. Nobody's going to say anything to you. And it was tempting. He's just that kind of guy. Yes?
What led you to cast yourself as the lead?
You know what, I started as an actor. It's how I came into this. I became a screenwriter because I wrote a movie with a friend of mine to act in. And that movie ended up getting made. It's a movie called Manic that's exactly the opposite of this movie, very dark and, about